Have you ever walked into a seemingly normal room, yet instantly felt the heavy, unspoken tension hanging in the air? Nobody is arguing, and the conversation flows smoothly, but your brain has already decrypted the hidden dynamics. A strained smile, a subtle avoidance of eye contact, a tone of voice that rings hollow. Society often praises this deep intuition as a superpower, but if you live with it, you know the exhausting truth. This hyper-awareness is a psychological trap. The defining struggle of the overaware mind is the complete lack of an off switch. You cannot simply brush off a strange interaction. Instead, you take it home, dissect every syllable, and run endless replays in your head. If you constantly uncover hidden layers of meaning that everyone else blissfully ignores, you already know the heavy emotional toll it takes. Let's decode the psychology behind why your mind won't rest and how you can stop being held hostage by your own perception. So, where does this deep radar come from? Psychology traces this intense observation to two distinct origins. For some, it is written into their biology. Science identifies these individuals as highly sensitive persons, HSP, born with sensory processing sensitivity. From birth, their nervous systems act as ultrafine filters, rendering the world an exhausting, high-resolution detail. For others, this over-awareness was not a birthright, but a survival tactic known in neuroscience as hypervigilance. This usually stems from growing up in unpredictable environments, where a caregiver's mood shifted without warning. To stay safe, a child learns to read the room like a threat detection system, memorizing the specific sound of footsteps or the slam of a door to gauge the emotional weather. Over time, this constant amygdala activation wires the brain to continuously scan for danger. You aren't broken. You are carrying an intelligence born from survival. But in adulthood, that protective armor morphs into five distinct signs of exhaustion. Sign 1. The endless analysis loop. If you are overaware, your brain is perpetually running complex background equations. Consider a mundane scenario. A boss sends a vague message saying, "We need to chat later." While others might just shrug it off, your nervous system spikes. You immediately hunt for the invisible coldness in the text, spiraling into self-doubt. This is driven by a hyperactive default mode network, DMN, the brain region responsible for self-reflection. While most people's DMN only fires up when they daydream, yours is running a hidden marathon, constantly interpreting, comparing, and dissecting the world around you. This is why you can feel completely drained after a day of simply sitting at a desk. Sign 2. The inner critic's spotlight. This analysis doesn't just point outward, it turns a harsh, analytical camera onto yourself. Psychology calls this metacognition, the ability to think about your own thoughts. But for the overaware, this switch is permanently jammed. You rarely get to just experience an emotion, you have to audit it. If you feel sad, you immediately cross your arms mentally and judge yourself for not being grateful enough. Even in joyful moments, part of your consciousness is hovering above you, evaluating if your laugh sounded fake or if you took up too much space. You never miss a step, but you completely lose the natural flow of simply being alive. Sign 3. The death of relational innocence. When you can see the invisible gears turning behind human behavior, you lose the ability to take things at face value. Driven by an intense theory of mind, you constantly infer the hidden motives behind people's actions. If someone offers a compliment or a favor, your brain immediately scans for the catch. What do they want from me? A confident date might just look like someone hiding a deep fear of rejection. Because you see these calculated layers, promises feel fragile and apologies feel hollow. This creates a profound loneliness. You are surrounded by people, yet isolated because no one else is reading the same emotional subtitles that you are. Sign 4. The empathy sponge. For you, empathy is not an action, it is an involuntary state. Thanks to highly active mirror neurons, you experience emotional empathy to the point of complete absorption. If a stranger next to you is nervously shaking their leg, your own heart rate spikes. If a friend vents about a heartbreak, that physical ache settles into your chest for days. Consequently, you become the designated emotional regulator for every room you enter, constantly softening your tone to keep the peace. You act as a container for everyone else's emotional waste, but rarely have a safe place to dump your own. Sign 5. The body's false alarm and the illusion of control. Eventually, all this mental tension spills into the body. Due to an overly sensitive interoception system, which tracks internal bodily states, minor physical shifts trigger major panic. A caffeine-induced flutter in your chest is immediately flagged by the brain as an impending panic attack. This sparks a brutal anxiety loop. The body misreads the signal, floods the system with cortisol, and amplifies the physical distress. To cope with this overwhelming data, your mind tries to control the future. You believe that if you can pre-calculate every disaster, you won't be destroyed when it happens. You run endless worst-case simulations. What if they leave? What if I fail? Trapping yourself in analysis paralysis. By trying to outsmart pain, you accidentally step out of your own life, managing your existence like a high-risk project rather than actually living it. So how we can fix this? You see, you cannot turn off this awareness, just like someone with 20/20 vision cannot force themselves to see a blurry world. The secret is not to see less, but to stop caring everything you see. Finding peace requires establishing firm emotional boundaries through three core principles. So, firstly, you need to stop personalizing the silence. If a friend is quiet, they might just be tired, not secretly angry with you. Secondly, you need to observe without action. When anxiety spikes your heart rate, simply acknowledge it as a physical sensation. You do not have to solve it. And finally, leave people's flaws alone. You might clearly see someone's insecurity, but it is not your job to be their therapist. When you realize that clarity is only a gift when paired with boundaries, your awareness matures. You stop using your mind as a radar to predict danger and start using it to appreciate the present. You turn the harsh, exposing laser beam of your mind into a warm, gentle candle, bright enough to understand human fragility, but soft enough to give yourself grace. Your quietness is not a flaw, it is a profound wisdom. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below letting me know which of the 5 signs hit home the hardest. You are not alone in this heavy, beautiful depth. If this brought you a sense of relief, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone whose mind never gives them a moment of rest. I'll see you in the next one.